Hey everyone, welcome to another 180 Shift video. This is the Radar Rundown with Ellie.
And Tara?
Yeah, and this week, the early voting has begun. I think it opened on the 25th, so it was like last Saturday. But today, I got to vote right after I was done with my classes. I headed over with my mom and my dad, and it was super easy, so simple. I mean, it was only one thing we were voting on. It's just Prop 50, not
Yeah,
much.
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, no, it was literally 2 minutes. I was like, I don't know if it felt too quick for me. I was like, should I sit here and ponder what I'm doing?
You're kind of
Because
like
like, I was like, it's too quick.
kind of
So,
like wow, that felt a little corrupt. Something about that felt weird.
well, you know what? I did some research, obviously, on Prop 50 before doing it, and I was actually sending some resources to my best friend, and I actually recommended her to look at the California Democrats website. And the reason why I referred her to the Democrats' website, obviously that's a one sided opinion, but I think it's very important to see what they're putting out to be educated on both sides. But not only that, but understand why they are pushing this proposition. And what I found about this proposition is that it's not about the people or helping the people, but it's basically the Democrats just trying to stick it to the Republicans and specifically Trump. If you look at their website, um, they really just try to play it as if it's something that'll help people, but it just continually just talks about Trump, Trump, Republicans, Trump, 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 and just it's like I don't know. Is this supposed to be? I want to hear more about how this is going to help me, how this is going to help us regular people. No, all it just says is just stuff about Trump, and I'm like, okay, that tells me so much about why we are having to spend $200 million on this proposition while we are literally drowning in debt. So,
I think it's I think it's real clear and simple. Satan wants you to vote yes on Prop 50.
okay, explain on that. Like, expand.
You know that guy with the horns who's like our governor in California? Yeah. He
Gavin
wants
Newsom?
Yeah, yeah, you know the guy with the little pitchfork. He's all red. Yeah, that guy wants you to vote yes on Prop 50. Um, it's very shady. We should not be voting on one random measure that is getting lost in most people's mail. It's highly manipulative just on a surface front end. So, yeah. Don't vote how Satan wants you to vote.
Yeah, it for me it just took me one look at the Democrat site to just really make up my mind and really see that this wasn't something that's going to benefit the normal person. And this actually plan only is up until 2030. So all of this is going to go back to how it was. It's only temporary. So I don't know
Corruption.
why we're doing this.
It's corruption.
Yeah, no,
He
seriously.
knows he
Well,
doesn't stand a chance against JD.
I don't know. I don't know. Well,
It's sad though,
hey,
you know, like they offed Charlie and now they're trying to this. It's just like it all just seems so scary. It's like because Charlie was a powerhouse for the presidential campaign. So now it's just sad that
yeah,
he's gone now. Speaking
that
of sad,
yeah, go ahead, tell us what you know, Taryn.
so this is a thing that I'm going to share in one just second. Okay. So, okay, I found this out the other day. Over 25% of Gen Z lost to abortion. The exact number is 28% of Gen Z has been aborted. That is a lot. That's almost one third of our generation has been aborted. What do you think about that, Ellie?
That is just crazy to hear. You know, I don't think that puts into I don't know. For some people, I guess I could put into perspective how much we have lost from this generation, but I don't know if sometimes I think that we have the tendency to just see the number um and say, "Oh, that's a lot," but never really truly um understand what that number means. That means a lot has been lost from our generation. That could have been the next person that was um, you know, the next actress, the next person who solves cancer or solves a treatment. That could have been another astronaut. There's so many different people that we lost from abortion that could have contributed to a better life and a better society here on earth. However, there are people that are going to tell you that this is good, that they believe that um, we should be cutting back on the amount of children that we're having. And there's these people who believe these certain things, but it in fact is not true. We're not suffering from overpopulation, just terrible management from terrible people. That's what we're suffering from.
Yes, yeah,
And we have lost
exactly.
people as a result of this.
Exactly. It's really shocking to me. And you know, even if they weren't like the next whoa, my phone's blowing up. Even if they weren't the next like, you know, cancer researcher or famous musician or like person winning a Nobel Peace Prize, at the end of the day, like people are people and our worth is not based on what we do, you know? So it's just like the fact that these are just like human beings, these are lives, and one third of Gen Z being aborted, it's like, whoa. It actually made me feel closer to my generation. I mean, I knew we were trauma bonded, but I didn't realize, like, whoa.
Trauma bonded. That's crazy.
Yes, we definitely, oh my gosh, definitely. I have one funny side note to share
Okay.
really quickly. So you see the White House page, right? Okay. So this is so funny. So Trump is doing this whole like makeover to the White House, right? The ballroom. He's like, why nobody has expanded the ballroom? I have no idea. My parties are gonna be like twice as big now, more inclusivity. My parties.
That's a spot on impression, Tara. I love it.
Yes. Yeah, but it's actually kind of sweet. He's like trying to like help get more people, um, obviously, into the White House, which is good because our population has grown since it was last renovated, which I believe was 1948. Now there was a really funny thing in here that, like, I'm having trouble finding now. Just give me one second. Oh yeah, it's this timeline. It's the timeline of the White House, major events timeline. Okay, yeah. This is it. Okay, this is so funny. Okay, wait. No. It's going too far ahead.
I already saw some things that I'm just like, whoa, okay, hold on.
So it starts out like here, okay?
The Bill
Um,
Clinton scandal. Oh my goodness.
okay,
What?
so wait a minute. So this is on the White House website. He's like, let me give you a brief history of the White House. All right, design plans commence in 1790 to 800. Rebuilding after War of 1812. Addition of South Portico. Addition of North Portico. Addition of West Wing. Addition of the Oval Office from good old William Taft. Addition of the Rose Garden from Woodrow Wilson and his wife. Addition of the East Wing. Total reconstruction from President Harry Truman. Addition of the briefing room. And the Bill Clinton scandal. President Bill Clinton's affair. So, with Monica Lewinsky was exposed. So we see all these like great moments of history in the White House developing. And
And
then
then you just
bam.
got that.
What?
You just got that thrown in there. Like, what?
Yes. The pettiness has just begun.
Oh my goodness.
Muslim Brotherhood visit. The administration of Obama hosts members of the Muslim Brotherhood, a group that promotes Islamist extremism and has ties to Hamas. The Muslim Brotherhood is a designated terrorist organization by nearly a dozen nations. So we have this photo of Obama. So this is how Trump wants us all to remember the Obama presidency and the Clinton presidency. Here on whitehouse.gov. Check it out yourself if you want to read
That's
more.
crazy.
And then we have the tennis pavilion, which is First Lady Melania Trump oversaw the privately funded construction of a 1,200 square foot tennis pavilion on the South Lawn. featuring a neoclassical design with a copper roof and limestone cladding. The elegant structure unifies the tennis court, children's garden, kitchen garden, enhancing recreational opportunities for families, for
Well, you
French
know what?
families.
So beautifully written. So
Beautiful,
beautifully written. And
beautiful.
I can't wait to see the next one I see.
Oh, yes, the next one is the cocaine discovered. During Biden's administration, a U.S. Secret Service agent discovered a small zippered plastic bag containing cocaine in the Western Wing entrance lobby. Speculation has pointed to Mr. Hunter Biden, an admitted drug user. Additional evidence includes a laptop seized in 2019, which contains photos of frequent drug use alongside emails about foreign business dealings, Ukraine, China, involving his father, Joe, while he was the vice president. Oh, well, what happened next? Oh, Trans Day of Visibility. The Biden-Harris administration hosts transsexuals at the White House in 2023 and goes to establish the Transgender Day of Visibility on the same day as Easter Sunday. Wowza. Let's just skip past that one. And 2025. North and South flagpoles. In June 2025, President Donald Trump personally funded the installation of two 88-foot flagpoles on the north and south lawns of the White House, a project he described as a personal gift to the nation. The flagpoles, designed to display large American flags, enhance the patriotic atmosphere of the White House grounds. A ceremonial flag raising event on June 18th marked their completion, with Trump saluting as the stars and stripes were hoisted, all privately funded at no cost to taxpayers. And then we have some Rose Guard renovations, Oval Office renovations, and then of course our East Wing renovations, with which is what we started out with.
Right. What does this tell you about Trump? What do you think this tells us about him?
P E to the T-T-Y. I'm petty. Yeah, yeah, I'm petty.
That's crazy. No, wow.
It
I
Yeah.
am not surprised he had somebody put this together. Like this wasn't him on here. This was somebody on his administration that he was like, "You know what? We should do this." And he's like, "Yes, very much."
He's like, I wish I would have thought of that. This
But
one
these are
cracked
the
me
most
up with Obama.
who I want to know who thought of this because you're just going through everything and then all of a sudden you get hit bam, bam, bam. And you're like, "Huh?
It gives Civil War, low
You
key.
think?
No doubt. No doubt.
Huh?"
I thought that was hilarious. I had to share that.
Well, then that's not good if it gives Civil War.
No, I mean, yeah, that part sucks. I mean, it's all up to God at that point.
I know.
Um, but
Yeah.
anyway, so not that Trump gives Civil War vibes. It's just that in general, our nation has a lot of, well, come on, polarization. We all know this. Like we've been dealing with it our whole life. Like
Yeah,
Gen Z
no.
is so sick of it, honestly. We're just like memes at this point. We're like memeing it because we're so sick.
No, I think that's the only way that Gen Z has been able to cope with this whole entire thing is be able to make this into some funny meme. And this is something that obviously goes into psychology. You go through trauma and then you make, some funny sort of thing about it. But this is actually
Exactly.
really awful that's happening to our generation, to those who are coming to Gen A and everybody else are going to have to live underneath a world where they just know only this polarization and not know how good it was back, with our grandparents, our parents, even, yeah, to be able to have, conversations without having so much, terrible things within your own family. Um,
Yeah, I
I
have no idea what that would even look like. It's been my
no.
whole life. It's been
Oh
my
my
whole life.
goodness. Every get together, every birthday party, every single holiday
God.
that family has come together, there's always been some sorts of argument, and even on a regular day, like they'll come over or something, then I'll have one of my family members, who shall not be named, cussing out my mother and not apologizing for it because he had a simple disagreement, you know? And he's doing this in front of all my young siblings who are all minors. The youngest is 6. So, that's
Unbelievable.
the environment that she's growing up in. You know how horrible that is.
Traumatic.
Um, and that's just not okay to be living underneath an environment. And one thing I did want to add on as well is that I'm starting to see Halloween costumes come out. Obviously, everybody's got their Halloween stuff, going on because Halloween's coming up on Friday. I saw some people are dressing up as, dead Charlie Kirk. People
Oh,
are making their own freedom shirts with like a Sharpie, and then they're putting flake blood on and this whole entire thing. So people are dressing up as that, and I don't know if, you know I heard from some actually my family members saying, well, nobody's celebrating this, and I'm like, no, they are. I'm seeing it with my own 2 eyes. There's people who are celebrating that happening, and we're seeing it now for Halloween. So
just awful.
yeah, it's just straight up
Awful.
awful. And um there are people who celebrated it, and it's just not okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I have some videos that I want to repost specifically about people talking about how despicable it is to celebrate that. Well, before we wrap up here, do you have any other little final things that you wanted to share?
um Not too much. I had a pretty calm week, I feel like it. And there's just always different news. I know here in LA there's been some deaths of some sheriffs, and so that's been weighing heavy on the community, I know. um so that's been in the forefront of my mind, keeping up with all that stuff that's been happening. There was actually something that I did see, and I have to pull it up. Give me like 2 seconds. Hold on, because I just remembered this right now, and I thought it was very interesting. Um, okay, got it right here. There was a truck in Mississippi that was carrying monkeys that had hepatitis C and herpes, as well as COVID. Okay, so monkeys who had all those three. Okay, a truck taking it to another location. He was driving aggressively, and it overturned.
Oh, what happened to the monkeys?
You know what? I don't know, but when I see that stuff, I don't know about you, that just screams a little suspicious, and what is going on, you know?
That is super weird. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
That's why I was like, when I saw that, and I saw that just like an hour ago probably, and I was like, oh, just,
Okay, look out
you
for
know,
monkeys, people who live
hey,
in LA. All right, let's
hey,
gotta keep
pretty
an eye
cool.
out.
Pretty cool. But hey, so yeah, that's basically what's been going on in everything, I guess. There's
Well,
so much.
I want to wrap up with something positive. So,
Yes.
180 Shift, we are sponsoring our first big event, November 9th, Identity Crisis, the one and only feature-length film that Charlie Kirk executive produced. Very
Mm-hmm.
big deal, guys. Please come out. Oh my goodness, we are so grateful to be at the Ambassador Auditorium. Pastor Che graciously lent us this space, and yes, security is being heavily considered and put into place, actually. And so please join us 5 p.m. November 9th, Ambassador Auditorium, Harvest Rock Church in Pasadena. Um, this is going to be a big event, very informative. Bring your friends who are willing to learn more about this issue of what it means to have an identity crisis so we can fully understand this as we move forward. And also, please, guys, everyone, there are some other dates on here. This is part of a full church tour. We ask that you just pop into one of these other events, stay for the screenings. Identity Crisis is only happening on the 9th. That is the Daily Wire film. But we have some other fantastic films. Um, like we just did Trans Kid, It's Time to Talk. Wonderful documentary. And October 29th, we have Damaged, the Transing of America's Kids. Guys, please scan the QR code, go to dtranshollywood.com to get the address, to get everything. This is important to attend as many of these screenings as you possibly can because Identity Crisis on the 9th is really more of a celebration and a finale to an entire tour and movement. So it is not a solo event. It is a part of 10 other 10 plus other films, 9 wonderful nights together, fellowshipping and learning and educating being educated together. So it's super important. November 3rd, we have Detransition Diaries. What's the rush to reassign gender? Very important. November 3rd. On November 6th, we have Disconnected. Guys, these are amazing films from like PragerU, GenSpec. We really encourage that everyone gets involved. It's not too late to jump into the tour. Please bring your friends, let them know, just show up. We have light snacks and some water that we provide. So it's really supposed to be a comfortable environment for you to be educated and feel comfortable about learning about these more difficult issues. But November 9th is definitely the big one. Please get in touch with us if you would like to host a table there or if you want to sell some of your own merchandise there. We would love to have you. So God bless everyone and thank you so much to everyone who is involved in this. And yeah, we're just so blessed to have this opportunity.
Yeah. And just one last thing from my end. I do want to make sure that everybody goes out and votes as soon as possible. It's super simple, literally 2 minutes. It took, just really simple amount of time to just go do it. So just find your nearest polling center. And this helps in case, you're unable to the day of. And just because it's only one proposition we are voting for doesn't mean it's not important. It does mean a lot. It will affect you. It's only temporary, but it's going to affect you up until 2030. So it affects how our elections are done here. Okay. And it affects who's going to be possibly in your district and who's going to be representing you. So this is really important. Take it into consideration. It's really simple, super easy to do. So yeah, there should be no excuse to procrastinate and do it last minute.
Amen to that. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Radar Rundown, and we'll catch you later.
Okay, bye.